मोंजुलिका, रक्तघाट के इतिहास का वो काला सच जहां सिंहासन की लालच में सदियां बीत गई और इस सिंहासन में झुलस रहा अतीत आज भी जिंदा है।
Bhool Bhulaiyaa is a horror comedy genre movie that we have enjoyed watching as an audience when it was released for the very first time, and it has become a cult classic that we enjoy now and then, freely available on YouTube, and we can watch it on our television. But Bhool Bhulaiyaa has created that name for itself because of a horror comedy element and really good writing that has convinced audience to laugh, that has convinced audience to get scared. On top of that, it has got the mental health narrative as well, which is an important part of the movie, where we see a tantric that believe in science and we see a doctor that believe in a religion and spirituality equally, and that is one of the core concept that we can see on a Bhool Bhulaiyaa of a Priyadarshan. But with the creation of a sequel, Bhool Bhulaiyaa 2 and Bhool Bhulaiyaa 3, they have completely gone into a different direction, and this is ruining the reputation of Bhool Bhulaiyaa franchisee, and this is a downfall of a Bhool Bhulaiyaa franchisee. T-Series and Anis Bazmi is creating Bhool Bhulaiyaa at this point just for a purpose of milking it and making money. Since horror comedy is being really trending right now on Indian box office, it's still ended up breaking all the record, and it has become one of the highest grossing Indian movie, and they already know horror comedy work, because even after Bhool Bhulaiyaa 12 not being really good, it ended up earning a lot of money on a box office during a period of time when most of the Bollywood movies were flopping. So there is a really big interest on our audience for a horror comedy genre, and because of that they want to milk this as much as possible before audience get it bored. But they don't really have a good writing and creative material to include on a movie, so they are creating a sequel of a Bhool Bhulaiyaa, and they are trying to cash in on the name of a Bhool Bhulaiyaa franchisee. But we are seeing a Vidya Balan as our Manjulika back, and there are a lot of things that has been added on a Bhool Bhulaiyaa 3, which is making it more cringier and not worth watching it. If you are someone who have enjoyed watching the first part of a Bhool Bhulaiyaa, I'm never gonna be considering you to watch, or I'm never gonna be recommending you to watch a Bhool Bhulaiyaa 2 or Bhool Bhulaiyaa 3. They are really horrible, and in this video I'm going to be breaking down the downfall of a Bhool Bhulaiyaa franchisee and how T-Series and Anis Bazmi ended up ruining it. Before we basically understand how they ended up ruining it, we need to understand why Bhool Bhulaiyaa 1 worked. Bhool Bhulaiyaa 1 worked for a 3 specific reasons. Reason number 1, where an actor who have given a performance to that movie were convincing for the audience to feel connected with them and go into the universe of a Bhool Bhulaiyaa, where we see all those Haveli type of where we basically see all the larger than life Haveli and a hierarchy of kings. We see religious stuff and spirituality stuff that will make us feel connected. We also see an element of a science, and we also see an element of a mental health, and all of them has been blended really well in a direction of a Priyadarshan. Priyadarshan is a director who has been known for creating amazing comedy movie which has got a strong return material, unlike Anis Bazmi, who have created movies like No Entry, Pagal Panti and Mubaraka. These are just some of the example movie that he have created in a comedy genre, and all of them are a movie that will try to cash in on a situational comedy that feels flat on the ground. They are not even convincing enough for the audience to laugh, and most of them did not ended up working on a box office. But he got an opportunity to direct Bhool Bhulaiyaa 2, and because of the hype and the name Bhool Bhulaiyaa and Manjulika are really big IPs and franchisee name audience love, it ended up doing well on the box office. That doesn't mean he is a creator who is capable enough of bringing a comedy and bringing a horror element together like Priyadarshan did, and that is the main reason Bhool Bhulaiyaa 1 ended up working, where everything was blended together. The performance of actor, the written material and a story, the horror, the comedy, nothing feel out of the place, and everything feel out of the place on a Bhool Bhulaiyaa 2, including acting of a Kartik Aryan. So let's start how they ended up ruining a Bhool Bhulaiyaa franchisee, and how this is a downfall of Bhool Bhulaiyaa franchisee. So the very first thing is performance of our main lead. On a Bhool Bhulaiyaa 2, we see a Kartik Aaryan, we see a Kyra Advani. These two are a main lead which has been portrayed on a movie, and we have got a Tabu who have saved the movie. Otherwise, it could have been even worse than what we already got on Bhool Bhulaiyaa 2. So the thing that we have to understand is Kartik Aaryan is an actor who is still on a zone of a Pyar Ka Panchanama, in my opinion, where he's still playing that Chintu type of a character. He doesn't want to evolve as an actor. Most of his PR and most of his basically narrative work, as he is an outsider who is getting an opportunity on a Bollywood, and he has been discriminated for a long period of time. But that is not a case anymore. He's getting a lot of movies and a lot of opportunity. He's being a really popular outsider who has got a bunch of opportunity in his hand. But the problem is he's still trying to play that narrative with his PR team. On top of that, most of his movie that he have done in the recent time, we can see a similar acting and a comedy that feel flat on the ground. You can see Shehzada as an example, how he basically tried to do a same caricaturist type of a comedy that he have done on a Bhool Bhulaiyaa 2, and it ended up falling flat on the ground. Bhool Bhulaiyaa 2 ended up working because it has got that big name of a Bhool Bhulaiyaa sequel. On top of that, it has got other supporting actors who were giving their best. Example, Tabu, who played a character of a Manjulika. So that is something that we have to understand as an audience, and we are seeing a Kartik Aaryan on a Bhool Bhulaiyaa 3 as well, and I have next to no expectation from him as an actor, because he's not someone that I really prefer seeing doing acting anytime soon, because he still want to play that Chintu type of a character that he have played on a Pyar Ka Panchanama. So the reason number one, and the most important reason, performance of the main lead. And Kyra Advani has been replaced on a Bhool Bhulaiyaa 3, so now they are not even giving any kind of importance to a female lead, something they have given on a first Bhool Bhulaiyaa movie. Something that Priyadarshan movie had was female character had an equally important role. Even if it was not a Vidya Balan, Amisa Patel and other female actresses had an important element to add to a story. And in Bhool Bhulaiyaa 2, there is next to nothing for a Kyra Advani to add other than being in a love interest that will attract him to a Haveli. And the next and one of the most important reason why Bhool Bhulaiyaa franchisee is falling is the makers. The maker themselves are focusing on cashing and milking it to make as much money as possible during this period of time where horror comedy is trending on an Indian box office, and movies like Stree 2 are making a lot of money. One thing we have to understand was Stree 2 has a comedy that is so good that you are going to be enjoying it when you are going to be watching it on a theater. It has got a really good and written material that has been blended together, but they are not focusing on any of that. They are focusing on glamorizing a Bhool Bhulaiyaa franchisee, which was so grounded and real on the first part. If you see a first part, there is not much glamorization. Now everything has been glamorized starting from a Bhool Bhulaiyaa 2, and one of the most thing that we have to understand is what is the purpose of a sequel. A purpose of a sequel is to carry forward the story that has been left on a first movie, or carry the plot from the first movie, right? But Bhool Bhulaiyaa franchisee has next to no connection with one another, and one of the important thing is now they have completely changed the narrative of a Bhool Bhulaiyaa. Bhool Bhulaiyaa 1 has a three main narrative. The narrative is there is not actually a ghost. There is a character played by a Vidya Balan who get obsessed with Manjulika, and she portrayed herself as a Manjulika because of a mental illness. It has got that mental health element, and it has got that really strong comedy and a return element. Something that we see on a Bhool Bhulaiyaa 2 is an actual ghost. Now they have got a power of CGI and a budget. Now they are trying to create a real ghost, which was not even a main narrative of a Bhool Bhulaiyaa. We never saw a real ghost on a Bhool Bhulaiyaa 1, right? Now we are seeing a ghost on a Bhool Bhulaiyaa 2 that is over the top, and the story of a Manjulika is also somehow completely different now. It is being changed on a sequel, and it will be even more changed on a sequel 3 that we will see on a first half of November. The next thing, they are trying to include a way too much thing on the same plate. One thing that maker has to understand that if you are going to be having a lot of big actresses who is going to be playing a multiple role of a Manjulika, or you try to show a multiple multiple Manjulika played by different actors, that you are not gonna be casting in, or you will not make a really great movie just because of that. You need to have a strong written material. Even if you have a one single same Manjulika and you have got a good written material and a material to work on, it will work out. But even after you including 3, 4 or 5 Manjulika, nothing is gonna be working if you don't have a good written material. Something that we can notice from a trailer of a Bhool Bhulaiyaa 3 itself. And one of the most important thing is they are not giving a proper importance to a main lead that is being played by a Kartik Aaryan. Kartik Aaryan is playing a Roo Baba, but he has got next to no connection with our first Bhool Bhulaiyaa movie character. He is portraying as a happy-go-lucky type of a Chintu that we have seen on a Prayer Ka Panchanama, and that character doesn't believe in ghosts, but he is somehow a ghost hunter, and he is a fake guru. Something that was not even a case with the first Bhool Bhulaiyaa movie. On the first Bhool Bhulaiyaa movie, mainly Akshay Kumar played a doctor who is well connected with his root and a culture. He believed in his spirituality, he believed in his religion, and he used to follow and practice them as well. And he is a doctor who was thinking logically to tackle the problem of a Manjulika, not a random ass guy who is faking himself as a Baba to, let's say, help people to get rid of a ghost to make easy money, and then he get himself into a trouble where he saw a real ghost, or he ended up involved on a real ghost story. That is a narrative they have built on a second Bhool Bhulaiyaa and third Bhool Bhulaiyaa, and these two narratives are definitely going to be destroying the overall reputation of a franchise. Because what is the purpose of a Bhool Bhulaiyaa and why it was created on the very first movie has been completely sidelined now, and it is not even close to that. And that is one of the main and one of the major reason Bhool Bhulaiyaa is completely falling. And this third movie I see being flop on a box office in a personal term as a viewer who have enjoyed watching a Bhool Bhulaiyaa 1, but there is a possibility because of that Indian horror comedy hype which has been created by Still this year, this might ended up making a decent amount of money on a box office as well, but it will definitely not be a good movie. And third, and one of the most important reason is they are remaking song, they are remaking element, they are trying to include a lot of new things which is not necessary for a Bhool Bhulaiyaa. I'm pretty much sure you have ended up hearing a title track of a Bhool Bhulaiyaa where the first movie title track was all about how he used to, let's say, get admired of the actress, or get admired of a female character that he loved in the movie. He's admiring the lady of his life, right? That is the overall plot of the first song if you listen it carefully. But this one has completely below the belt lyrics. It has included a pit bull, and he's doing all the necessary stuff. It is a cameo on a song that is so useless and not worth it. On top of that, they are trying to include a meme material and stuff like that to ruin it even further. And I was not even able to listen to a full title track. That is something that we have to understand. And they are trying to copy pretty much everything from every single places. So example, if a lot of things are working or something is trending on the internet, they are trying to include those elements on a movie, which is completely not necessary. You are supposed to have your own thing with Bhool Bhulaiyaa. You are supposed to have your own detailed story that you are not focusing on including, but you are trying to cash in on a trend, you are trying to cash in on those hooks, you are trying to cash in on a name of a Bhool Bhulaiyaa. And there will be a point where audience will also realize who is going to be watching this, and I'm pretty much sure most of the audience are disappointed and have already realized that they just want to cash in on a name of a Bhool Bhulaiyaa. They don't really care about a franchisee, they don't really care about a movie. Something that we can really learn from a Doom franchisee was Doom 1 and 2 was really good movie that audience enjoy watching, but it was heavily criticized for a Doom 3, and they stopped creating it after that sequel, and now they are again creating it with a Ranbir Kapoor, because now they believe they have enough material and they have enough resources to showcase the audience that charm of a Doom. And that's how you basically focus on correcting a mistake you have made, and they have already made that mistake on a Bhool Bhulaiyaa 2, but just because they want to cash in, we are seeing a Bhool Bhulaiyaa 3. And I'm pretty much sure all the OG Bhool Bhulaiyaa lover doesn't even care about Bhool Bhulaiyaa 2 and Bhool Bhulaiyaa 3 at this point, because it has got next to no connection. And what we have loved as an audience on a Bhool Bhulaiyaa 1 is not even on Bhool Bhulaiyaa 2 or Bhool Bhulaiyaa 3, and it has completely gone to a different narrative. This will be a movie that will cash in on a name of an Indian horror comedy. It will make a decent amount of money if audience ended up getting fooled, and it will basically get completely sidelined where nobody will even remember. We will see a Kartik Aaryan doing the same Chintu acting that he have been doing from a multiple movie. So that's the overall reason why do Bhool Bhulaiyaa franchise has been completely ruined, and we will miss our OG Bhool Bhulaiyaa, and we will never see a good sequel of Bhool Bhulaiyaa where we will really get involved on that same Manjulika story. So that's it for this video. If you have enjoyed watching it, give it a thumbs up. If you have got any question, let me know. I'm going to check you out on the next one. Till then, take care and bye bye.